work on design and characterization of liquid crystal tunable VCSELs for optical coherence tomography that was carried out in collaboration with LAS CNRS of Toulouse. First of all, I will briefly introduce the context of my thesis and the state of art in tunable VCSEL. So OCT stands for optical coherence tomography, and it is a 3D imaging technique based on low coherence interferometry that was developed in 1991 by MIT. Today, it is used mainly in medical applications such as ophthalmology and dermatology, and it allows to get high quality in vivo images of tissue. There are different implementations of OCT, but today I will take into account the sweep source OCT, which requires a tunable-like source, but which one? In this case, a VCSEL was chosen. A VCSEL is mainly composed by an active material, which is enclosed by two high reflectivity mirrors, and electrically or optically pumping the active material. If the gain prevails the losses, a lasing effect can be observed. Among the various benefits of this kind of device, there is the simple parallel manufacturing process that makes this device very compact. The fact that it is a single mode longitudinally. And finally, the small active size that permits to have a very low power consumption device. Today, the state-of-the-art in swept source VCSEL is represented by MEMS fabrication, and here we have an example of an electrically pumped MEMS VCSEL at 850 nanometer that was used for swept source OCT for ophthalmology. Here, injecting current and applying a voltage to the movable mirror, we can change the optical path length by acting on the cavity length. So applying a voltage, we can move the mirror and change this optical length, and thus we can obtain a tuning range of 37 nanometer by applying 76 volt. Unfortunately, this kind of structure has some drawbacks, such as it is very complex to fabricate, it requires high driving voltage and have a mobile part. Are there other solutions? Yes, and they are represented by this solution which exploits liquid crystal inside the cavity. Here, instead of the cavity that is changed, is the refractive index that is changed to change the optical length. And we have as benefits a high birefringence that allows to get a tuning range of 34 nanometer. No mobile parts, thus we have a very stable wavelength, emission of wavelength. And finally, a low driving voltage that is required to change the orientation of the liquid crystal molecules, and thus to reach the maximum tuning range of 34 nanometer. Unfortunately, the first prototype of this device was not lasing, and the main source of losses were found in the thermal effect on the liquid crystal, the gallium arsenide cap layer, and finally the metal pad electrode. Is aim of this thesis to investigate these three effects. So first of all, the experimental part will be presented. And we can see here the first optically pumped tunable liquid crystal VCSEL that was demonstrated filled with the QPDL07 liquid crystal. And then an expected tuning range of 45 nanometer was expected. Here we can see the emission curve, and we can see that 23.5 nanometer were reached. So there was a limited tuning range. And this was due to the fact that the liquid crystal that was used has a thermal effect that can compromise the optimal value of birefringence of this material. Here we can see, in fact, that due to the optical pumping, the internal temperature can reach 50 grades, and thus the birefringence can be lowered. Unfortunately, there is a lack of thermal model for the owned liquid crystal at LAS, so an experimental setup was built at LAS, where we can see here a Vertex TIR, a Hyperion microscope, and the Opus software that are used for the optical measurements, the thermal controller and the Peltier cell for the thermal measurements, and finally a liquid crystal voltage controller to control the correctness of the liquid crystal functionality. Two microfilters were fabricated, one at 850 nanometer and one at 1.55 micrometer, which were fitted with QPDL07 and 036. So the optothermal characterization was done, and the extraordinary and ordinary resonance peaks were were measured. And the one closer to, and the one with the average refractive index close to 850 nanometer was analyzed. Here we can see that the average wavelength is increasing instead of decreasing, as we would have been expected by watching the Lee's paper. In fact, we can see that the refractive index here is decreasing. This was due to the fact that the thermal effect of the thermal dilatation of the materials that compound the filter were not taken into account. So optothermal measurements of an empty cell of this filter were done in order to derive a thermal law to correct the CT effect. And here on the right we have the corrected curve. Subsequently, a simulator was developed in order to have the simulated spectra to be matched with the measured spectra. It was developed in MATLAB using the transfer matrix method, and the material dispersion and the liquid crystal grating effect were included. So using this simulator, the peaks matching were done with the spectral measurements, and the refractive index was derived. And it can be seen that is in accordance with the Lee curves. The same was done for the 036, and the two liquid crystals were compared, and the clearing temperature was certified for the two liquid crystals. The higher birefringence of the QPDLC was certified, and finally the two thermal models were implemented in the Opto simulator realm. The second part of my thesis is theoretical, and it uses the simulation performed by the Opto simulator realm, developed by the CNRS of Torino. Here we can see the structure that was analyzed, and it is quite complex. In fact, we can see that there are two cavities, one that is the quantum well, and the second one, which is the liquid crystal cavity. And by simulating this structure, the most important things, the most important output is the threshold gain that should be taken as low as possible to have a lasing effect. So before doing the simulation, we can see the actual structure that presents a gallium arsenide etching radius of 4 micrometer. Different etching radius were tried, and we can see that for a smaller value of etching radius of the gallium arsenide layer, the threshold gain increases exponentially, while for radius that are larger than the actual one, we can obtain an optimized value. In fact, if we choose a value between 5.5 to 6 micrometer, we can have an improvement of about 50%. Then the metal pad electrode was analyzed. This was due to the fact that from previous paper on mastering lateral radiation losses, it was found that this structure was very similar to the MEMS VCSEL with the air gap cavity. In fact, we have two cavities, and the second one is the air gap one. And the second cavity introduces losses, where these losses increase a lot the threshold gain. So the metal that is inside this second cavity cannot be neglected. Here we have the actual design, and we can see that the alumina pad is very huge with respect to the other materials ring. So just if the metal electrode is neglected, the lateral radiation losses can be observed again. In fact, in the structure where the imaginary part is not neglected, there is a complete absorption of the power flux due to the infinite metal. So a new fabrication with a new metal electrode ring is now in fabrication at LAS with 23 micrometers. So now, in conclusion, electrothermal characterized liquid crystal Fabry-Perot interferometer. A new method to extract the refractive index was developed, and the thermal model of the two liquid crystal owned by the LAS was derived. And finally, the analysis of the optimal gallium arsenide etching the metal electrode was performed by using the VELM optosimulator. As future work, it would be possible to add a supplementary calibration in order to increase more the precision of the liquid crystal refractive index extraction method, a complete 3D analysis of the device, including the thermal model of the liquid crystal, and finally, the fabrication of a new generation of electrically pumped liquid crystal VCSEL device, exploiting the optimized design obtained by VELM. I would thank all the professors from LAS, NRS, and Politecnico di Torino. Questions, doubts, hopes, and I hope the presentation was of your interest.
Okay, thank you for your interesting presentation. If there is any question from the Commission.